What I admire in anybody, not even a comedian, is emotional consistency. I always hated. I myself try and be as emotionally consistent every time I show up somewhere, either at work. Nothing worse than I had this teacher in grade 10 who would be he was the funnest teacher ever, the most fun teacher, and then. But sometimes he wouldn't. Then he'd also be the meanest teacher. So literally one time he would always like roast people and make fun and he was like the fun, like cool teacher. Mm-hmm. He would always make fun of the new kids in the school, the grade 8s. Anytime he'd be like walking to the house, he's like, grade 8s to the wall. And then he would like make them clear a path.
That's fun.
It was so fun. And he was a bit of a dick and like the perfect comment. But one time he was joking around and I was like, can I go to the bathroom? He's like, yes. And he's in the fun mood, and I leave, and I come back, and I don't know he's switched.
Oh my god, he's bipolar.
So he's like, where? He asked me a question, and then I gave him a snarky answer, and then he yelled at me and sent me to the principal's office. And I was like, oh.
Imagine being married to that guy though, where you're like, you don't have any.
He wasn't married.
He was married to another teacher in the school, and she cooked. She was the cooking teacher, and one time they had a fight like in the halls, and like you could tell when they weren't talking to each other or when they were fighting because I had both of them.
That's
the
great.
lasagna would be cold.
Yeah, she'd be crying because he was bipolar.
That's amazing to have that. Like that. I like that predictability. I like to be completely predictable. Where people are like, Darren generally is in a pretty amiable mood, like most of the time. Like I don't, because there's something. Even going to work and you're like, hey Dave, how's it going? Oh, not bad. I had a great weekend. Hey Dave, how's it going? Just like. Doesn't even say anything and just turns back to you're like,
pick a lane, Dave.
Yeah, fuck.
I had this teacher too, Mr. Coven.
Get on your meds, Dave.
This is what got this in my head because he used to talk like this. He literally talked like Kermit the Frog. It was the most insane thing ever. Awesome. He had jet black hair he was balding and it was perfectly cut his head.
Was it naturally jet black?
I don't think so. It was in hindsight. It was like
Walter Matthau black.
Color. Yeah. But he was like, I will always be emotionally consistent. Every time you come in, I will not let my personal issues affect. I loved him. He was such a weird guy. But
From Australia, right?
No, I don't know.
Is that an Australian accent?
Sorry.
They all sound like that.
Yeah, he was such a weird
Kermit the
guy.
Frog
And he wore the
here.
same outfit every day. He was like a cartoon character.
I love surfing.
That's what you want in a teacher.
And he's like, I have a photographic memory. So when we first start the class, he's like, so the first day he was like, what was your name?
And then
Darren.
He's like, Darren. What was your name?
That's not how it works.
Okay. And then he knew everybody's name, though. It was incredible.
great.
But that's the blinking did nothing.
And he was like very progressive with his teaching styles. Everything was on computers. He's like, everything, you guys are all going to be on computers in the future. So all of the courses we played, not Civilization, but this game called Colonization.
You can't play that anymore.
He's so progressive.
I didn't think about that. So essentially Civilization, but it's like
called Take Over the World.
Yeah, so you start as a European and you go over to Canada and you settle. But it was our way of learning about
Push the A button to give him a smallpox blanket.
No, you actually would go to war. It was actually a really bad.
No, you're like, I think about it.
In hindsight. But that was his way of teaching us about the formation of Canada and the States, and you got to make it. And then a third of your grade was based on your score in this game.
Yeah.
I've never been so stressed out.
You didn't colonize enough. You didn't.
I remember having it at home and just like stressing that I wasn't good at the game and like
playing then like that's all kids want to do. I get to play a video game in class. Can I be a voyeur?
But I remember being so stressed because there was that and then one other paper that was our whole grade.
That'd be amazing. Like if Age of Empires was my entire my entire grade, I'd be A+.
We did play Oregon Trail, but I feel like that's a little bit before.
Yeah.
They just released you kids on the top of the Oregon Trail and you got to make your way to the end.
There was cannibalism in it. And it was all I wanted to say Bitcoin. I don't know. It was all like just very...
Yeah, I remember
8-bit? Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
8 Bitcoin.
Yeah, I always loved the hunting. I just like, because it's like, do they know there's guns in this game?
Yeah. Lemonade Stand, same, was classics. I don't know if I'd enjoy playing them as much now, though.
I think, you could probably find it. Yeah. I love that guy, Mr. Coven. I think he, shut up, Coven. What was his first name? I forget, but he retired somewhere on the mainland a year or two after I had him. But everybody would make fun of him because he's a fucking weird guy, but I loved him.
But consistent.
But consistent emotionally. And he was like, when I grade your papers, I will start from the top and I will go down to the bottom. And then I will take a day break and I will flip that over and I will start just so, because by the end,
He's so fatigued.
fatigued and angry.
That's why you always have to attach.
just
That's why you always have to attach like a chocolate bar to your paper, so he eats it and he's not hungry.
I feel bad for the middle people. They probably didn't get
The middle people
Get a
just
fair shake.
Yeah. He might have
Shuffle
reshuffled
it.
them maybe.
I like. I had one friend who teaches philosophy at a Cégep, and that you can see that
Cégep.
Cégep's like it's like
Yeah, don't just
Quebec
say
French.
Cégep like we knew what you were
Cégep.
talking
Oh,
about.
you know the Cégep?
It's like French grade 13, I think. In Quebec, they have a prep
because they're
school.
dumber than us.
That's right. And he,
Yeah,
but
we'll go with that.
he's like, he teaches philosophy, and talk to him about the kid, and he gets so angry when he talks about reading it. It's like, if I get another paper on the fucking Matrix, I'm gonna lose it. Yeah, he does not.
Les Matrix.
La Matrix.
Les Matrix.
But they do all call him sir. Sir?
Revolution.
Yeah. I was supposed to be a teacher, and then you realize you're like,
You were a teacher.
I was a teacher. I did.
That happens a lot. That was both my sister-in-law and
Were
her
you
husband
consistent?
were both teachers and then did it.
Yeah. I
And
think
then
I was okay.
They
in it.
quit.
And then didn't like. I think the same thing, Darren. You find
Yeah.
out it's actually not. It can be really stressful, or if you're
Well,
not
don't
comfortable.
don't teachers usually like they get a degree and they're like, what can I do with this?
That's exactly. I got a degree in history, and I'm like,
Whoops.
this is useless. I'll teach. I always
50% of teachers is like a whoops moment. Like, shit.
Yeah.
Whoops.
But that's the
yeah.
attrition rate too. Like they told us straight out, like you go into school, we're gonna teach all you guys to be teachers. We're gonna accredit you, and half of you will like never teach a day.
Right.
They're just
Interesting.
like that's not gonna happen. But I always thought it would be fun. But
That's
then
kind of most jobs. Like even like a doctor, they're like burnout.
no,
rate.
I think if you
No.
go to become a doctor, then you just run a prescription farm and make tons of money.
I think the burnout rate for doctors is really high.
Really?
Yeah, it's like you do it for like 15 years and then you go find something else.
But at least they doctored for a bit.
yeah, but like you did school for 15 years and then you only put in like 10 years
Just get rid of your
on the
loans
job.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that was. I have a couple of nursing friends who fucking hate it, but the
Yeah.
money's too good. They can't.
Yeah, that $45 an hour or whatever, that's decent coin.
Yeah,
And they get 8 smoke breaks.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's I always thought teaching would be a great, like it always just seemed like a cool job. Plus, you also had summers off, you get wicked holidays, and
But you
but
don't get paid.
it's also like, but it is a super hard job. So it was hard for me too when or even now when talking to people and they shit on teachers, like if they go on strike, right? Fucking teachers. I'm like, you get in a classroom with 30 pubescent kids, it's like a fucking nightmare, dude.
Yeah, I have a buddy who teaches, and it's like he works so hard. Like,
Yeah.
you're not like you're not just off when the kids are. He's in there early prepping,
Yeah.
and you don't want to fuck up these kids. Like, you want to put in an effort.
Well, you don't want them to be able to finger you as being as fucking
Inconsistent.
them up.
Inconsistent.
Yeah.
Mr.
Mis-
Inconsistent.
Mr. Miller, I'm finding you a little emotionally inconsistent. And
That's it.
Can you use these two faces when you're in a happy mood? You use the happy
Just wear
one.
the-
When you're
Then they ask you a question, you're like, swap my faces out now. Now
he
I'm
loves it
angry.
though. My one buddy he's like
Can you please identify your emotion before you teach?
he was always a bit. Surly's not the right word, but what's like a fun surly? But he's like so great.
Sarcastic? No.
I just never expected him to be a teacher, and he's a wonderful teacher from what I've seen. Like even interacting with some of my my younger relatives.
Yeah.
He's like very like we went camping one time, and he was like walk around with her and like showing her
Can't say
different pine cones and be like, I don't know what this is. Let's find out. And I was like, this is amazing.
You can't say hands-on with teachers.
No.
Can't be like, this teacher's very hands-on.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uh,
You'll wind up in the back of the magazine for that. The
will never touch you physically.
I think there's something about
emotionally all the time.
because it's hard when you have. So your buddy is probably so good with kids because you hang out with kids all the time. Like I don't know if you find this, Elliot. Like I'm good at hanging out or relating to kids who are my kids' age because those are the kids with whom I have experience.
Right.
But as soon as my kid, like I don't know how to fucking relate to an 8-year-old anymore because I don't.
Oh, you lose it.
Yeah, and you
it's
just
like a little window that.
yeah, totally. And you go along, you're like, oh, I'm great with all these kids. I can hang out and do a kid's birthday party or whatever. But then I have no patience now for like younger kids, or they just weird me out. I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't know about 8. I'd say teenagers. Once they become a teenager, then they're like moody and they'll hate you, and you're like, I don't want to be judged by somebody that
Can't still
Can-
wipe their own ass properly.
can beat me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that being tough.
I actually can relate way better to kids than adults. Like I'm a kid person. Like
Because you're kind of on their level.
yeah, I'm on their level.
All right.
Elliot Short, everybody.
It's like doesn't even. That's so silly.
Did the joke bother you more, or the fact how hard Darren was laughing?
All of it.
It was a pretty obvious joke, and that's what hurt me the most.
Fair, firm but fair.
Do you find getting high with kids? I had a guy I know said
Said-
he's like,
he
I'm a
said,
way
yeah.
better parent when I'm high because I'm just like way more patient and I can chill, and doing crafts is super fun. Like that seems like just hanging out and like taking an edible and then just
You do
doing
get
pencil crayon drugs.
when you do it, like if you're on weed, like it depends what drugs you're talking about.
You just snorting rails. We're gonna decoupage.
I think I'll.
2 words: macaroni wreath.
I think yeah. Weed,
Sit at
you're a
Etsy
better
store.
parent. Like a little bit of weed, you're a better parent. But like you smoke too much weed, and now you're a bad parent again. There's like a very fine window
Yeah.
with weed, like where you're fun. Like if you're giddy on weed, then you're perfect parent. That's what you want. Like you're in the zone of just being silly. But then like you get sleepy. You don't want to be sleepy on the job.
Nap time.
Nap time. You wake
Nap
up,
time's
your
great.
face is covered in glue.
Glue and glitter. What happened? You're part of my project now, Dad.
Took one too many bong hits.
He's
I don't-
He's eating a bowl of cereal. You're having a bowl.
That's good.
And then you eat
That's
another
a
bowl.
weed slang, I think, right? A bowl.
Yeah, a bowl. That works for me.
Thanks.
But now I just smoke CBD, so it's like I don't even get.
Oh, that doesn't
Yeah.
do anything.
No.
I
I don't even know if it's weed. It could be just.
That's the problem I have with, or not, but I have a bunch of CBD too. Is you're kind of like, how are you ever aware it's working?
You can feel it actually. It has like you can feel it. It's not like you don't feel it.
Is it just a lack of oxygen that's doing it? What does it do? Is it supposed to calm you down?
Yeah.
CBD, yeah. It's like it's more for like pain, or
Pain
like
management?
just like nerves.
Where do you get that? You just get that at?
Any weed store, just to ask for a CBD high strain.
But it doesn't get you high, and you can get zero. You can get like Charlotte's Web.
I
This
think it
episode
has-
brought to you by Charlotte's Web.
I think they all have THC in them, so you have to be careful because they'll say it's CBD, and then it's like, oh, actually, there's like 5% THC.
It's like decaf. It's not 100% decaf. There's
Yeah.
like that little bit. You can't really get it all out.
Oh, really?
There's like 1 or 2 up to
Decafs
5%
in there,
caffeine.
or
Okay.
calves.
Calves in there.
And then it makes you inconsistent in your emotions. I was trying to be consistent, but I got the decaf. There's too much calf. I'm like decaf.
That's my favorite dad joke. What do you call a cow that's just had its baby?
A decaf.
Decaffeinated. Okay, that.
That's your favorite dad joke?
That's my favorite dad joke. That went over really well.
I could see what Aaron was talking about.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Wait, I did.
Wait, I got more.
I did have a. Did either of you guys? I just picked my son up from camp
Ooh, camp.
Like summer camp.
this week, like summer camp, like
Yeah.
leadership camp. It was pretty good.
What's
Like a-
leadership camp?
Well, it's
Is
like
that different than summer camp?
Sounds
I think
culty.
so. Like
Sounds
it
a bit
is.
culty.
It
We're
is super
all gonna
cult-
be leaders of the future.
It is very
Is
culty.
there a lot of clapping? That's how I know that it's a cult.
Yeah.
We are the leaders.
It was
we
like-
are the leaders.
It was very midsummer when I turned up there. They were all white gowns
One
and
of us. One of us.
Watching just like game tape of Hitler and Stalin and John F. Kennedy.
They're crying because of the time their dad took too much edibles.
We will not be emotionally inconsistent like our fathers. We will not
We
be.
will not be emotionally inconsistent.
Leadership. Where is
Well-
this? Is this just out of town?
Yeah, it's up in Cowichan.
Is that what
It's
they call
great.
a non-Christian like camp?
It is
Summer
not.
camp?
It is non-Christian. I went to Christian camps because
Christian
it was
camps
cheap.
are the best.
Christian camps are good because I've also sent my kids to Christian camps because they will do
They need
all day
some Lord.
camp for like $60 a week. You're like, I sent my kids to you for like 8 a.m. till 4, and they're like, yeah, it'd be great. Then we're gonna teach them about what did they call it? Our daughter came home. She's like, Big Papa. Big Papa, that's the big man in the sky who watches us all. We're like, it's a cheap camp.
I don't think that's Christianity. I don't think that's Christianity.
I went to
Big Papa theism.
I loved. That's some of my best memories growing up. Was
Camp.
this camp? I went. I think I went like 5 years in a row. You keep meeting this. I met so many people.
Was it Christian camp?
It was a Christian camp, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but just like around Terrace, it was in this other town. But then I got to know all these people like in that area
Yeah.
because they all came to this lake.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like my son's
But
already.
you weren't Christian? Did you find that part weird? It's cheap camp.
Yeah. Well, my parents are kind of.
A little-
We never went to church, but they're like Christian,
Yeah.
you know.
They're
And-
good. There's shitty there's not great Christians.
She's listening.
And that's right. And then there's Christians who are like I consider like normal Christians, which are kind of like an English style Christian where they're like, yeah, we go once a
You know-
week to church and we have muffins and coffee afterwards and bullshit with the people around, and then we go home, but we don't get all fucking weird about it.
Yeah, it was never weird, and it was never. It was just. It was like a presence in the household, but we never went to church at all. So,
Mm-hmm.
so the camp was like the most, and I was always
Affordable.
Yeah, and I was always a little uncomfortable because then the people who were there at the camp that run the camp were pretty hardcore. I remember
Yeah.
one time the arts and crafts lady was very
Okay,
strictly.
Everybody write your protest signs. Everybody make your protest signs. We're going down. Yeah,
Sid-
we'll
Sid-
play capture the flag after the protest. Okay, we got some abortions to cancel.
But if everybody wants to participate in archery, you gotta do signs. But she was adamant.
One arrow for each sign you make.
It represents each life lost. She was very adamant about that Santa Claus was actually a product of the devil. So she wanted us to make Christmas cards
Product
that
of
were
Coca-Cola.
Jesus focused
Boring.
in July, and then I put a Santa hat on, and she got really mad at me.
But
She's
what
also
else
like,
are you
the
gonna do with
Easter
those
Bunny is
cotton
a
balls?
dick.
She's like, Santa Claus actually means Satan's claws. That's what it means.
What?
It was
Did
like-
she really?
And she reamed me out.
Isn't
and I
that isn't
painted
that
this
from a
be-
Simpsons cartoon?
I think so. Which is also part of Satan's plan.
Ned Flanders is a great man.
Yeah. But in hindsight, it's actually kind of crazy how much they just sprinkle in enough. So it's not over, like we do like arts and crafts, archery, canoeing,
Yeah.
Bible study, and then blah, 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 blah. And then
And-
then we do like the chapel at night where we'd all sing like hymns.
What was
and-
your favorite hymn? I got mine. I know what mine was. It was Rocket.
All the angels
Was that
That's a
yours?
Christmas song.
joyful and triumphant. What? I can sing them all because I was indoctrinated.
That was my
That's
favorite.
not even
I
a
love it.
Christian song.
That's great. I love it though.
Or there's the one yeah. Wow, fuck.
There were a lot- as soon as you get it, there's one like but then we do chapel, and then we do campfire, which was always the fun.
Plank
Mm-hmm.
in your eye, big enough to walk.
And it was just all
on.
trying to make the girls laugh. Like that's all I was trying. Each thing was just an opportunity to.
Try to get laid at Christian camp.
No, but it was so fun. Like my first girlfriend was from this Christian camp.
Yeah. I went.
You fall in love in a week. You fall in love in like
Yeah.
3 days.
Did you have a tuck tuck
intense.
shop?
Tuck tuck.
Tuck tuck.
We did call it tuck, like the treats.
Yeah.
That was what they held over our heads. So if you misbehave, you didn't get tuck.
What?
If you
Oh, we have freedom. Your
You'd
parents would put in like $20,
Yeah.
and then you have to divvy it up, and that's so much pressure for a little kid. But you're like,
Oh.
I gotta stretch this. Some kids, they had they would come out first day like 6 bags of chips. You're like, you fucked up, bud.
Yeah, we would get tuck at like 3. That was like the midday snack. But they would hold it over you. So if you fucked up and misbehaved, you'd be like, no tuck
No.
for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was a
In the last couple
tool
years,
of control
in the last couple years, they had ice
Tool
cream.
of control, like the devil and.
in Satan's claws.
Some of those, I miss those games. Like as an adult, I wish we had like game
Capture the
time.
flag?
Capture the flag,
Like-
Gold Rush.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible. You ever play Mission Impossible?
No.
No.
This was I don't know if it was just a custom one where they would divide up into teams, and you played at pitch dark, and then everybody would have a mission. So it'd be like, get a cup from the cafeteria and place it on the flagpole podium. So that was your team thing. And it'd be pitch dark. They turn on all the lights, and then the guards would have flashlights and would just search around. And then you have to go like, you'd have to name them by name. So like 1, 2, 3 on Elliot, and then you were out if they spotted you.
Yeah.
So you had to like work together as a team to get this mission done. And if you got the mission done first, it was so fucking fun.
Yeah.
Cause you just be like crawling through all this tall grass.
Yeah, all that stuff. And now you don't do it. Now you go over to someone's house for board.
We had a
Like there's no
similar game
board
where-
game nights.
where we had a gold rush, and you'd go and you'd have to there'd be like a pile of gold in like a circle, and then there'd be like a tower, and they'd have a light at the top, and if they shine it on you, you'd have to like they'd catch you.
Yeah, it's so fun. Now my whole life is just trying to recapture those experiences, either through the rush of
how's that
comedy
working?
or it's just
Is
a
it-
sad, emotionally consistent pursuit.
But it's so weird that we give up so many of these fun things as kids. We're like, we'll never do those again.
But
It's
you
like,
discover them again when you retire and move into Shoal Center.
I think it's through
Old
the
folks'
kids.
homes?
Like I'm sure.
Yeah, kids
Because
are
with
so
my
much fun.
nieces, I fucking love. I got them into Pokemon cards
Yeah.
recently, and I was like, I could not believe how. It's really sad because they're not into Pokemon cards anymore.
You're like, this is the greatest.
I'm like, hey, you guys want to play? I got new
We're
decks. You
over
guys
it.
want to play Pokemon cards? And they're like, nah, we're good. I'm like, oh,
you guys aren't very consistent.
man. I love camp. Yeah, the campfires and then like sneaking out and like pulling pranks.
We had a
and-
game that was so much fun. You'd build a cardboard castle, and then you'd have piles of water balloons, and you had to destroy each other's castles with water balloons.
Dude.
And was it just old? Like, was it a big castle, old refrigerator boxes and
Yeah.
stuff? And like, oh, that sounds
So
great.
much
So you
fun.
spend like, and that's great as a camp counselor. You're like, you're gonna spend all morning, like time killer, making your castle. There's a bunch of paint, fucking masking tape. Go for it, and then water balloons in the afternoon, and you're just like, they'll be tired and sleep.
We had like
tonight.
polar bear swims, so you could get up with the lifeguard at 6 a.m. And if you did the swim, you got another tuck.
Oh yeah.
So I remember trying
It
to
really
do that.
held these tucks over you.
Yeah, it's so fun.
2 tucks for you. No tucks for you.
Yeah, and then I counseled one year too.
Did a guy
eventually.
never wake? One time, a kid never woke up.
Died at your camp?
No, so they put they
That means what you just said. That means they died. Just so you know. Next time you say that, that means they're dead.
they took him in his sleeping bag, still asleep, and they dragged him out of the cabin and threw him in the lake
Oh, okay.
inside of his
dangerous.
sleeping. Yeah,
Yeah.
he died. He never woke up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He actually had a heart attack.
How did you find? I remember going to camp 2 years in a row. The first year it was Christian
Was this
camp.
1856?
1856. I went there. We had.
That
It was
the-
more like the movie The Witch. If you've ever seen
I
that.
think it was more
movie.
like the what's that? Leonardo DiCaprio. You were part of the new colonies.
Oh, The Beach. That movie.
The Revenant.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
There you go. I got it. The Beach looked way more
Beach.
fun than The Revenant. No, we turned up there, and I was the
You
whole
talking about
weekend.
the Wolf of Wall Street? Is that the one?
My camp was like that. You guys are gonna buy some fucking. We're gonna short some funds and then do coke. No, coming out of camp at the end of the week and having been like kind of indoctrinated, like going to camp being solidly agnostic, if not atheist, and then coming out of camp and being like, "Hi, God is all around us. It's an amazing."
Well,
See,
And then it
I
wore
never-
off after a couple weeks. I went to camp the next year, and I was like, "I'm fucking wise to you guys. I'm putting up a wall."
well,
here."
it's kind of fucked up to link because you bond with all of the kids there, and there's all these kind of like ceremonies that talk about like love and like and so it's like this weird, especially at that age. Like I just remember falling in love with everybody, just like so like 100%. Totally in love with this girl after 4 fucking days, and then it's like heartbreaking when you leave, but it's all tied into this like Christian undertow. So I could see like
this community of
I don't know if it's
I
on
would-
purpose or if that's just kind of what works over time, but
I was raised Christian, so like I
got
saw through all of it.
you knew immediately what they were trying to do.
You want me to memorize some Bible verses? Yeah, fuck you.
but they also used to do
For God
before
so saved the world that he gave
before
his one.
dinner, before all the meals, we had prayers, but they were like parodies of popular songs.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It was fun. It was like it was like we will praise you. And it had the whole like remember this is like it's like Queen. This is awesome. And they just get in there. They had like 6. We got to, and whoever won the
now it's time for your Christian rapper.
and then they'd have all the points. They'd have like Gryffindor, like Hogwarts points. I forgot about this.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
points too.
So
yeah.
the cabins would win. Whoever was the winning cabin got to pick
Oh,
all the
yeah.
hymns. Got extra tuck. Like got to make all these decisions. Got to go up first for the meals.
So we should when we went and picked
Well,
up
we
my
had we had a newsletter every morning. They would print out a newsletter and be like, they'll like recapture what happened the day before.
It's called
who
propaganda.
who won, and who lost the points, and like why did people win points? What was happening around the camp?
That's so fun.
And everybody got one of those. That was amazing.
We should put on a summer camp,
This is well
like
we-
a non-Christian, but like I
for
imagine like
adults though. This is what you want an
That's a
adult
cult.
like you, whatever you want to call it. But you're like you come here for a week, you have no responsibilities other than to bond with these people around you and just play games and have a good time and go swimming
and
and
fuck your friend's wife.
Sounds
That was
great.
that Nexium. I don't know if you've seen that Nexium documentary, but they do a big summer camp, and that's what everybody look forward to.
Well,
Like,
I'm
it's like
so-
summer camp for adults.
I don't know what's going on with Nexium these days, but I'm sold. Where do I sign
Is
up?
that the biggest issue why you can't have summer camp for adults? To just get drunk and then fuck. that's
probably-
the only thing that's holding it back.
That's probably
Adults could have
it.
had so much more fun for like ever, and
Can I
but they
just do archery without like?
Or to just be with divorcees. Single. Are you single? And you're like, no, I'm married. It's like, you can't come to this camp. It's going to ruin your marriage.
you have to take a pill where you completely just lower your libido for a whole week.
It's called saltpeter.
Yeah. Yeah, sex ruins everything.
It's also a lot, yeah.
That's what we found out here. We all fucked last week, and now look at us.
Yeah, now there's like this weird dynamic.
No, I like, we go in to pick up the kids, and then watching them, they're all 14, 15, 16-year-old, like boys and girls. And especially the boys are usually super tough. Like there's so much pressure on you to be like jacked and alpha, but they're all like, "Oh, fucking, I'll miss you, man." Oh, they're like hugging each other, and you're like,
Is that crazy
it's
after a
a-
week?
yeah, after a week, they're
So
so
nuts.
like, and that's where you're like, oh, this is great. And I think we were sitting there watching that, and we're like, yeah, there needs to be like some kind of summer camp for adults where you can just go and, you know,
I love that. I love
Do
that
that
you can
shit.
fall in love with a group of people. It's so crazy to me that
Yeah.
Because you've been through so much, man. You
But
know,
you have that's
Jell-O
the crazy part.
on
I think
Monday.
it's just a testament to the hormones. Like it's just
yeah,
it's so like I talked to these people. They were like just in my social
Yeah.
MSN circle forever.
and but you see how when they talk about what they do, you're like, also, they're very good at engineering, whatever, like events to build up that bond and stuff too within the group and like get everyone to.
It's fucked up, especially with the alternative motive of like
But it's not a Christian camp; it's a leadership camp. So all these kids could be
right.
leaders, hopefully.
Years of the New Republic. Do you want your son to be a leader? Like, what did they learn?
I don't know. Well, they
What's a leader? You haven't
Well, they-
explained it.
Okay, so
It's non-denomination.
It's non-denominational, so they go there.
they
It
just
used to
have
be
fun?
called Rainbow Camp, and then they were like, and then everyone was like, about 20 years ago, they're like, we're not allowed to do that anymore.
Conversion therapy. Now
yeah.
they're
And then now that's, I won't even say what the name of the camp is now. But anyways, it's a great camp, and
You just call it the Rainbow Camp? That's funny.
yeah, well, that used to be that they were like, oh, we can't, because people were automatically being like, oh, well, I'm not sending my kid to that because you've crazy people who are like, I'm not gonna, and it's like, no,
Right.
right? So it was fine, but it's a good. They just go there and they just learn to like. I think they give them communication skills. So they give all these like stunted and dumb teenagers who don't know how to, and they're like, this is what do. One of our friends, we were camping last week with friends, and there's one of our friends' son, and he's like 22, 23, and he was at the camp, and he goes, yeah, I remember being at the camp at the Rainbow Camp and sitting around, and the thing was like, okay, you guys all sit in a circle now, share something about yourself that's like a secret. Maybe it's illegal. They're not allowed to do this, but they're like, share a secret. And he just remembers people going around and like sharing really traumatic stuff that happened to them.
Right.
But that kind of like breaking apart that shell and that openness and allowing people to.
It's so interesting that it's sad too that you can't get that if they're not going to get that at home.
No,
You know?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it takes like an outside. You can't really until you leave home and then like meet friends and then bond with them.
Yeah, and then people are like, "What? Tell me a secret." And I'm like, "Go fuck yourself."
Not today. Keeping it inside.
Trying to stay inconsistent.
Emotionally consistent. Just angry all the time. I just cry for no reason.
But it's very like both my brother and sister have went to this camp like when they were teenagers as well. I never went, which is why I'm so emotionally stunted.
Yeah.
But both my brother and sister are very much like that now. Like they're like, we need to sit
My-
down, we're having a
right.
family talk about whatever, and they're like way more.
Why didn't your
More
parents send you?
well-adjusted.
They're like, this kid won't. This
Well,
kid.
oh, it was
this
too
kid,
late.
This kid
too-
won't get it.
They were
This-
like, juvie was kind of like a summer camp, I guess. So
He was the
You went to
sacrifice. They
juvie?
realized they're like, oh, we need to send our other kids. This is what's happening with the oldest.
yeah. Yeah, it was a wilderness camp that the province of British Columbia made me go to.
We had to dig ditches.
It wasn't really. I
Ditch
didn't
camp.
ever go to.
You light one cat on fire, and then they're like, "Oh, he's probably a problem child."
Bad apple.
But now I know what the inside of a cat looks like. So.
Charred.
Yeah, good topic, D.
Yeah, it was good.
Um,
It's fun.
Yours was on a lake. Canoeing. I know how to canoe. I know what a J-stroke is. In a canoe. That sounded really sexual, but
Yeah, Jay. You have to clarify.
like-
In a canoe. In a
Priest
canoe.
came over. He's like, "Hey, do you want to learn about the J stroke in a canoe?
My name's Jason.
Just me and you. Let's go on the canoe." Yeah, we had like tubing. We had kayaking. We had archery,
you
pellet
had, like, a
guns.
boat. Yeah, we didn't have a boat.
Climbing.
We had.
It was so much fun.
See, I feel like my camp was a ripoff now because our camp would be like in the middle of downtown Revelstoke, and it would just be at a community hall, but we didn't have any of that like awesome stuff.
Yeah, this had like
No.
cabins, lake,
Yeah.
all that shit. I always forget, Elliot, that you have a pool, so it makes sense that your camp had a boat.
Well, my grandparents would help pay for it, so
Right.
Are you ever gonna ride your jet ski in your pool? I think I've seen YouTube videos of guys doing that.
no, that's a terrible idea. It's not the right jet ski. You have to get like one of those tiny ones that stand up ones.
Yeah.
My jet ski's too big for my pool. You need to get a bigger pool, you poor fuck. Maybe that's your problem.
Yeah, those doing backflips. I did backflips
Yeah.
all over the lake the other day. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. If you had said no, if you didn't end with that, I would have been like, cool. I guess everyone can do backflips and jet skis.
It's like really easy if you went to summer camp. Where I went to summer camp, they like teach you. There's like a whole like week-long class where they're like, "Hey, let's do backflips."
Yeah. Just carrying kids out there in neck braces. Like immobilization boards. It's a great camp. Next.
We had like ping pong. Do you have ping pong?
No, don't go from jet skiing to ping pong.
That's a downgrade.
What are we at? Oh yeah. That makes sense. I'm
Is it half an hour?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was. Anyway,
That's fine.
Did you have good food at your camps?
Yeah, I think, but a lot of it's just spaghetti. I think, right? It's mostly spaghetti,
mashed
chili,
potatoes,
tacos.
Oh, mine was like steak, lobster. Oh,
oyster bar.
I think we're different people.
I think you went to an all-inclusive. I think that's what it's
They give you
high-end
tequila.
all-inclusive.
Everybody spoke Spanish.
Oh shit, that's what adult camp is.
Cancun.
Yeah,
it's a cruise.
That's basically.
I don't want to cruise. I don't like
you been
cruises.
on a cruise?
No, I don't want to go on a cruise. Especially not now. Get trapped on there 8 weeks with Gladys.
The only problem is, I don't want to cruise only because of I think there's just a buffet open all the time.
Yeah.
And I would just eat constantly.
But it's also
feel so
if people get sick on there, it's like when they get Giardia or what you hear about those cruises,
Giardia?
and they just Giardia and they just wading ankle deep in diarrhea through the halls. It's pretty nasty. Like I've heard that, and then once it's in there, it just everyone gets
Is this
it.
a Revelstoke?
Yeah. That's what they
Cruise?
told us. They're like, you're gonna come back to you can't go on a cruise. You're gonna come back to this camp and eat spaghetti.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like. A
But have you
cruise.
been to an all inclusive?
No, I don't think so.
Is that a Jesus thing?
I've been like to like continental breakfast
Everybody is included.
with a waffle station.
Oh shit! You could get unlimited muffin.
Oh, actually, just one. Oh.
Yeah, but even a Holiday Inn.
I went to a place. I went to a place in near Disneyland, and they had omelet bar, unlimited.
Oh,
omelets.
that's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the shit there. Because
And those guys-
you can eat as many omelets as you want. You'll never get fat.
Disagree.
That's
but
a
That's
rule.
probably not true. Yeah.
I could eat as
Yeah,
many
you could-
omelets.
That's true.
No cheese,
I like the
just eggs scrambled.
Yeah.
But folded. It's like a scrambled fold.
Yeah. No cheese.
No cheese.
No cheese.
cheese is
That's
the
what
best
this
part of
podcast
an
should be called,
omelet.
No cheese.
I know it's the best part, Darren. I fucking know that. You don't
But
think
I'm
I
not gonna eat
miss
it.
it? You don't think I miss it? You think I'm just like there, like, yeah, this is better than the original.
Have you tried the lactose pills?
I'm not allergic to lactose. I'm allergic to cheese. It's different.
But they're the
No, you're an idiot. There's lactose intolerance
You fool.
and there's a cheese allergy.
What is the difference between cheese and Well, maybe we did. This isn't a science podcast, but what is it?
No, this is the science podcast. Let me explain how black holes work.
Have you tried
Not sucking
killing yourself? Oh.
What? Because the fake cheese is gross. We went to
Yeah, it's potato starch and soy.
we went to
I don't eat that either. I just avoid it.
we went
You
to a
just go
pizzeria
without.
when we were in Budapest, and I won't call it Budapest, but we went to Budapest. We're like, oh, we got in. We're like, let's go to a pizza place. We went to a pizza place. We're like, can't understand the fucking menu. Order pizza,
Racist.
and we're like,
Where's the English menu, please?
Should I say it louder so you can English? And we ate the pizza. We're like, this cheese is weird. This pizza's not. And then we got out. We looked. We're like, oh, it's a vegan restaurant. And we're like, that's why it was shitty vegan cheese, like almond cheese or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a
Nut
vegan
cheese.
pizza in town. I
Was
like,
it good?
I got it and I was like, I just hate that phrase. Being like, this is pretty good for vegan.
$25 for
Yeah.
something you kind of
And
don't
Kate,
like. I don't eat.
Kate really liked it. She's like, this is good. She didn't know it was vegan. And then
You
she's like, yeah, it's all right.
tricked her.
I hate cauliflower pizza crust. I just go
Oh, that's
without
okay.
because I've had pizza. I know what it tastes like.
That's
It
the
tastes so good. Why would I want this knockoff?
It's like I like Elliot's. Like, there's pizza over there if you want it. Like, no toppings, just the bread. Everything's just been
It's just
scooped off and put in a
spaghetti
bowl.
sauce.
Let's just bowl it up.
Just a weird soup.
Just eat the sausage.
be
This
pretty
is my
good,
pizza,
actually.
just a whole Italian sausage. It's like if I've been to Disneyland. Why would I go to the Saanich Fair? It doesn't compete.
It's true.
They've one ride. I've been on the better rides. Pizza is so good. Just stop trying to create. I like things that have their own. If it's going to be gluten free, it should be its own thing.
Like, it should be just like you can have steak.
this is the thing. No, it was made to be original.
There's a restaurant in Vancouver that I had a
Like
problem
corn
with.
tacos.
It was all vegetarian, but the whole menu was like hamburger with bacon. And it wasn't. They just kept. I was like, just stop. Be your own thing. Don't worry about it. You don't need to have bacon. Just. It's like it was like
was
marinated.
vegetarian.
like fake bacon.
It was like marinated coconuts, like
yeah.
skin chunks or whatever. And it was really good, but it just everything was like chicken strips and fries, but it wasn't like.
But it was
chicken
all fake, vegan-y
Yeah.
bullshit.
So the whole angle was like this is a burger joint, but it's all
But you could just be like, why not just sell your
like
like
if I
vegan,
went-
vegan strips or whatever? You're
Yeah.
like, these are like chickpea. It
just seemed like
fried
a-
chickpea lumps.
seemed like a really self-conscious.
It's like if you went to my camp and then the next year you went to Darren's camp.
yeah.
Like this is not it.
We don't have jet skis, but I'm gonna fill up this bathtub and get on in.
Yeah.
They lunch is just craft singles. Fill up on craft singles.
Yeah, whatever you get in the dartboard, this is our archery. Whatever you get on the dartboard, you can eat.
And the tuck is just like fruit leather.
What's wrong with fruit leather? Grew up in the Okanagan.
No.
Slander my people.
It's no Skittles.
You get Halloween candy from last year.
Yeah. Some dank.
Halloween
crisp.
candy does not go bad.
It's true.
I don't think.
Yes, and
Okay, good. That's all I got. Sorry.
Let's end this podcast right there. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye.
Bye.